Hi. So, I just wanted to talk about epilepsy. Some people might know, I've had epilepsy since I was about 12. And I do count myself very fortunate in that I probably have seizures on average maybe once every year or once every 2 years now. They are severe, however. They're called tonic-clonic. So my whole body shakes, and my teeth clamp down. I think it's quite distressing to see, judging by some of the people around me. And I do often have injuries from them. Now, so a couple of days ago, I had another seizure, the first one in about 2 years, which, yeah, not great. I had it in front of my 2-year-old son, and that's the first time he's ever seen a seizure. And luckily it was fine. You know, I give off this warning where I scream really loudly, so he screamed, and then was saying, "Mummy, can I have a cuddle?" And my husband was there, so he obviously stepped in, and my son was fine. He just carried on playing with his toys. And the first thing I knew of it is I'll wake up on the sofa, as it was then, and my husband will say, "You've had a seizure," and then I'll start to feel the signs like some injuries or exhaustion and things. This time my injuries weren't so bad. Well, I say that, but so I had bitten all down the side of my tongue, which I think is almost healed now. Yeah, I think so. Seemed to have cut my face here. Maybe a bruise on my bum, actually. I'm not sure. And this time I seem to damage my teeth. So I think that one of the top ones has moved out of line. One of these bottom ones became quite loose, and I actually went to the dentist yesterday, and they've put in a like a temporary brace they've fixed to the back to try and help it heal. It's quite likely that I'll have to have a root canal, which I've never actually had before, so I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm assuming that the tooth has been damaged at the root. So that's fun. Yeah, so I think, as I say, I feel very fortunate, and I've got, I live with my husband, who is amazing at taking care of me, and sometimes can spot that a seizure might be on its way. And my little dog, who's just hung around me ever since. She's a Cocker Spaniel, so I think she sort of senses these things. And my mum and sister, who have had to sort of step in with my son over the last few days. Part of perhaps the reason why I had a seizure was the lack of sleep, which I'm sure all mums and dads know is a big part of being a parent. There's always a challenge. It has been the whole time for us, and there's added anxieties where Aaron is so worried about me having a seizure that it sort of comes into how we parent Dexter, which we didn't really want, but it's life, isn't it? I had a seizure holding Dexter when he was just a baby. That was probably the worst. I was trying to feed him at night time. Well, I guess early morning, night, whatever. And I thought I'd be fine doing it, but obviously I had a seizure and I was holding him, and luckily he fell onto a duvet that was on the floor, and then another blanket fell on top of him. So Aaron awoke to me having a seizure and a baby crying that he couldn't find. So that was distressing, but luckily we were fine, which is the main thing. And I had a couple while I was pregnant as well, towards the end of my pregnancy, which, part of me is so grateful that, I oh my gosh, I've been able to live a life where I have been able to do lots of normal things, and I've I've got a lovely family. But at the same time, I have to acknowledge that it does, epilepsy shapes you. It does. It goes quite deep, that probably parts of me that I don't even understand yet, definitely adds to anxieties. I do think about it every day of my life. Not necessarily worrying, it just comes in there. So when you're doing something, or if I'm alone with my son, especially in the first year, I was very scared of being alone in case I had a seizure, and then no one would be there to look after him. There's all those sorts of things. And this recent one, I don't know, it seems I'm 32 now, and it seems to have taken me a lot longer to recover from this. Energy levels, it's been a few days now, and I don't know whether it's something that when you get older you find it harder not to do anything, like I want to be getting on with my business, doing things with my son, just getting on with normal life, and I'm feeling that physically I can't, or mentally not quite sharp enough yet. So maybe it's that. Maybe as you get older, you just want to be doing more things, and not as easy as to rest. I guess I just felt that I wanted to talk about it, as I know, oh my gosh, I don't know how many people out there have epilepsy. There's a lot of us, and a lot of people that don't tell anyone. And so I just think it's important to talk about it, really. And I'm very grateful, but I do also acknowledge that epilepsy and the medication that I take do alter who I am. Especially I recently, probably over this lockdown period, with the help of my husband, I've only sort of realised that I think I have these very tiny absences daily, where I just disappear for a few seconds. And my husband thinks this is between 10 and 40 times a day. Now, I've never acknowledged this before. So I have got a brain scan, like ECG, booked in to find out if, or hopefully find out if this is part of my epilepsy, or whether this is something else. I'm not sure. So yeah, that affects me daily. It's frustrating when I'm trying to talk to somebody, or do anything really, and I disappear and lose where I am, as I'm sure happens to everyone. But this is a lot, and it does make me a little bit angry, and loses confidence as well. All sorts of things, really. So I think it's just good to talk about these things, and if I can help somebody else that has epilepsy learn something new, then that's great. I mean, it's a relatively newly researched condition, really, and I think it's very individual to you as a person, which is harder. It's harder to diagnose or help that, because it is so personal. And I think a lot of it is just about really understanding yourself. And I'm just learning all the time, really, and researching all the time. I will say, this seizure that I had, now the situation I was in, so for me it will be time of the month, lack of sleep, just that extra strain on my body and mind, stress and anxiety that I feel trigger my seizures. But I've been living life like that since I had my son. Life is like that all the time. But just after I had that seizure, with my newborn son, my dad went out and got me some CBD oil, and I've been taking that ever since. As he'd heard the benefits of the cannabis plant to epilepsy. So I've been researching into that and looking into that the whole time. And of course, the THC side of it is not legal. So to have any help to take the THC part of the plant, it doesn't really exist in this country. So I couldn't really try and treat my epilepsy with that. So I just take the CBD, which is totally legal, as a supplement, really, to my medication. Now I've been taking that whole time, but this last week I stopped taking it. And I did so because I was feeling that it was maybe making me angry. So I just stopped taking it as an experiment. And then I had the seizure. So I'm now thinking, was the CBD the thing that was stopping me from having a seizure since I've had my son that whole time? Because, like I say, as a mother, you are put under a lot of strain, lack of sleep, stress, all sorts. And for me, it's been a difficult journey. So I'm now looking back at it kind of amazed that I haven't had any more seizures in that time. So I'm taking the CBD again. And obviously I do take epilepsy medication as well. My theory behind the CBD, it's worth researching into. I know that there's parts, little molecules, or of that are in CBD that mimic connections in your brain. So I know that there's something there. But also studies have been done with CBD just taken alongside, for example, THC, the part of cannabis that makes you high. And the higher level of CBD, which is the legal part, the more pleasant your experience of smoking or, whatever, smoking cannabis. So I do have a theory that taking it alongside my epilepsy medication helps to counteract some of the more negative side effects from that medication, which I do feel there are. So whatever's going on there, I do think it has been working for me. So I just take it's 10%, 4 drops in the morning each day, and have done. I'm doing that again. And I'll just carry on looking into that, really, and seeing all the reasons why it helps. And yeah, quite interesting. And of course I have to work on all the lifestyle things that we all do, really. Exercise, healthy eating, mindfulness and meditation. All of these things, I know full well that the more of those in my life, the healthier my body and my mind, and that can only do good for my epilepsy. So yeah, I have to get on that. And as a mum, I need to learn, with epilepsy or not, it doesn't matter. As a parent, I think you need some time on your own. Now, this has been so hard during the time we're in, lockdown, to make that time for yourself. And it just feels selfish. You're trying to give your all to your child. But yeah, I've realised that I think we will have a little bit of help from the family, so that my son can stay maybe once a week at somebody else's house, just to make sure that me and my husband get a full night's sleep at least once a week. And I will try and take either a couple of days a month. I mean, once a week is lovely to say, but perhaps not realistic, where I, on my own, either stay at home on my own, or go and stay somewhere else, just so I can take myself out of family life and just give myself some time to clear my head and, you know, just have a bit of space. And if you do struggle with your mental health, I think this is, it's vital. And I do struggle with it. It's a constant battle, really. Anxiety and low mood. So yes, that's really important to me right now. So I will be aiming for that, I suppose. And yes, I think that's everything, really. I'm dreading my potential root canal, but we'll try not to think about that. And I am just grateful that I am still here, and that I didn't hurt myself too badly, and that my son is okay. So yeah, focusing on that.